And welcome to episode 10 of the Queerly Biz podcast for Rainbow Assured. I'm Kerry King, and today we have...
Hi, I'm Billsbury.
Billsbury. So, and obviously I know you a bit more as Billy.
Yes.
So, Billsbury, given that you've given your name... Oh, can I just check? Pronouns, please?
He, him.
Thank you. She, her for me. And Cal, producer Cal, do you want to join in with that?
Yeah, he, him. Go.
He, him. Excellent. Rob?
He, him.
He, him. Excellent. Oh, gosh, I'm outnumbered today. The he, hims are going on strong. So now, because you introduce yourself as Billsbury, which is the other way I know you, what is Billsbury your name for?
So, Billsbury is my stage name. I write and make music. And the name came from, like, nothing, like, cool or amazing. I was, like, in primary school and I loved blueberries. Like, I was, like, obsessed with them.
I didn't think this is where this is going.
No, like, no one does. Everyone thinks there's, like, some cool, dark secret. No, I love blueberries. And one day my friend was like, Billsbury. And I was like, yeah, that's the one. That's the one I'm going to put on every album cover, that.
Amazing. So the reason we met, apart from knowing you a little bit through your job, was because I was chair of Dereham Does Pride.
Yeah.
And you were one of our first performers.
I was so
and you
honoured.
applied early on, and we listened to your YouTube, and I got you on, and oh my God, your fans are brilliant. Your fans literally kind of took over Dereham Pride. They just came along and they were just like, right, we're here for Billy. We just adore him, and we're just gonna. They were so cool.
They're so amazing. Like, I mean, doing Dereham Pride was such like a nice and massive thing for me. Like, Dereham being the town I've grown up in, like, and seeing it evolve, especially when it comes to LGBT, like, how it like went from a place where it wasn't that friendly to like now you could go into like the local club and like kiss men and like no one would bat an eyelid.
Yeah.
So getting up on that stage was just something just so honourable.
It's really cool.
And also any excuse to shake my ass. Like,
Just take it.
I'm just all for it.
And we're back after a short technical hitch. So we were just about to talk about the fact that Rainbow Assured is primarily built for LGBTQ at work, and making sure that the employees' experience at work is much more positive and inclusive. Now, as you are a baby of the world,
No.
a 23-year-old baby, I just 20 years younger than me. Let's not talk about that. So, oh my God, I've been at work for a long time.
You don't look a day over 21, darling.
Oh, thanks. Yeah. I know you're lying. I'll pass you some money later. So now I know that. So your job now, and I write, you're a manager at Costa.
I'm a barista maestro, so I'm like one.
Oh, I don't know what that means.
So it's like a fancy term for shift leader.
Oh, cool. Now, a side note of Costa. Now I know that Costa is a really cool, inclusive company. As a side note, but when Costa kind of first started coming out a while ago in England, I told someone that they were pronouncing their job title wrong because it was barrister, and it turns out that is not the case. So let's
Cut the cameras right now.
Yeah,
sorry,
that's
not unacceptable. A barrister.
But I also thought that Sting, Queen, and Prince were the same person. So let's
Oh, right, that's my time. Thank you very much.
So moving swiftly on after Kerry's painful lack of knowledge. So, yes, so you work at Costa, and am I right in thinking Costa have their own pride?
Yes, so I think in London, especially in London, because that's where loads of Costa stores are. They have this really cool Pride event. They had this really nice van that was illustrated. I can't remember who illustrated it, but it was all in the Costa-esque kind of style, and it included everyone from gay, transgender, lesbian. It was so nice and beautiful. And they were handing out free coffees, and it wasn't an event
okay,
but it was just a small pop-up if you will.
Because I know when we first were coming around trying to get shops involved in Durham Does Pride, Costa was very happy to be involved at the time, and that's sort of how we got friends in the first place. So obviously you've had quite a short working life so far because you're still a baby. Have you found that your experiences at work have been generally positive, given that you are fairly camp?
Yeah.
Yes.
Would
you say that your experiences at work have been fairly positive in that way? Have you encountered any real difficulties? We don't have to name any names of workplaces, but have you found any really negative experiences? And if you have, has it been more about the company or more about the kind of individuals within the company?
No.
Just no.
Honestly, do you know, and I feel so lucky because I've read some horror stories out there, but I've been so lucky myself. Every part of my career journey, everyone's been so lovely, everyone's been so understanding. At my first job, when I broke up with my first boyfriend, I went in the manager's office and cried, and like the manager was like, right, come on, we'll get you on Grindr, let's get another one in the door. And then at my second job, I worked at a care home, and I got really close to one of the residents, and like, you know, when I would go in and, you know, help her, like she would talk to me, I was like, oh, have you got a man yet? Like,
oh, bless her.
Which is just so nice, especially for that like very older generation to understand that. Like,
that's brilliant.
It was beautiful to see. That's
a really, really positive experience. Talking about care homes, actually, Susie, who's one of the trainers for us for Rainbow Assured, we recently talked about care homes and the fact that there's going to be a lot more people transitioning through care homes who have either transitioned through gender during their lives, or who have potentially been non-binary, or who's potentially people who are obviously gay and lesbian, but people who have physical bodies that don't necessarily match their minds, and what the prospect of that is going to be with dementia and Alzheimer's patients, and how very, very confusing that could be for them in the future, and how much of an impact Rainbow Assured could have in making sure that the care staff, because again, care homes do tend to have quite a high volume of care staff going through their doors, ensuring that we give them the knowledge and make sure that they have the sensitivity to deal with those situations, because that's potentially going to be a complete minefield. So this kind of sets of companies that we are reaching out to are care homes. I'm really glad that you've had a positive experience, especially with the residents. Yeah. Because like you say, with the older generation, it can be a sticky subject. Have you seen anyone else kind of in your periphery? I'm guessing you probably haven't, if you've said that your experience has been positive in the workplace. I guess have you known other people to have problems at work?
Like I said, I've read some horror stories online. There was one story I think I saw on Instagram where like someone got kicked out of their job because they came out, like just really, really nasty and horrible stuff that shouldn't happen to any human at all.
Now, coming out you mentioned as well. What was your coming out story?
Oh, God.
Did you have one?
Yes. Oh, I have one. So the story goes is, obviously I'm a big Kesha fan. And I've always known I've been gay. You know, I was
going to say, at what point did you realise that you might be part of the community?
When I accepted it for myself, because I think that's such a big thing. Like, you need to accept it first to then blossom like a flower. So I was on holiday in Spain, and we were on this beach, and there were so many gorgeous men, like topless. They looked like Leon Kennedy. And I was like, I am finding this very attractive, and I shouldn't. And then I kind of,
so you felt that you shouldn't.
Yeah.
So there was some kind of feeling there that what you were feeling was wrong.
Oh, I was always kind of like back and forth, like bashing myself, like, oh, this is wrong, like I shouldn't be like this. It was always such an internal battle with me, because I am such a big overthinker, and I also think in having such a creative mind, and I'm not blowing my own horn here, you know, you have so many voices and thoughts in your head about how you should look, how you should act, you know, not just because you think you might be gay or straight, but because you want to appeal a certain way, you want to look a certain way. So there was always kind of a battle going on. But like I said, that holiday, I kind of was like, I'm just going to accept it because it's making me miserable now. It was like I was exhausting myself mentally fighting it. And I was like, I'm going to tell my mum and dad on holiday.
So how old roughly do you think you were at the time?
13.
Okay.
I didn't.
Oh.
I did.
I was in and then I didn't.
So it was, we were back from holiday. I think I was in high school. Well, yeah, I was 13. I was 14 now, so I was in high school. And I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to do it. And I did it the only way I knew I could was a very dramatic Snapchat story to all of my 10 friends. And it had like Kesha music in the background, like it was a masterpiece. So that got out. Still haven't told mum and dad. Because that's because that was a really good idea. So I went into school the next day, and I was like, I was dreading. I was like, what have I done? Like, what have I done? But kind of like the top dog in school, like, you know, like the really like, oh, yo fam, I'm a steal your cigs, and like that kind of person. He goes up to me and was like, well done, that was really brave.
Oh.
And I nearly cried. I was like, no, this is the only cool moment you'll get. Don't cry, don't cry.
That's amazing.
Yeah, and just from that point onwards, like it just felt like all the picking on me just stopped.
Wow.
Which again is a completely different story from others.
Yes, of course.
And then my mum and dad found out because my friend congratulated me on Facebook, tagged me in, and my dad saw. So I was like, oh, shit. So I go home, dad's at the lounge, and I love my mum and dad, love them especially my dad. I love him with all of my heart, and this is for why. Because at the start, he was very negative towards it.
Okay.
Like, he was an army man, like, came from military background, and so he was very against it. He was like, oh, this would be a phase. And, like, me and him would just argue after that point. And I think it was Christmas that year. And he brought me in and he was like, son, like, I've been an idiot. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
like, I want to educate myself. And now him and my mum are my best friends. Like, I even told my dad when I first got a proper boyfriend. Like, he comes to, like, all my Pride events now. Like, aww. This is, like, I love them to pieces. Like, they are my best friend. And I think that takes for everyone that does have that negative mindset about the community is, you know, I think everything comes from a place of either not knowing or, like, love. Like, for example, my dad said that he was scared that I would get hurt, so in his head he was like trying to protect me, which obviously went the wrong way about it. So I think it just takes people to educate themselves, like learn the history, like my dad put in the work, and you know, he learned and now he's happier than ever. Like, we have such a good healthy relationship with me and my family. Like, we go around, we listen to Taylor Swift, dad took me to my first Kesha concert. Like, excellent. It just takes people that just leap of faith to just get out your own head. It's not about you. Yeah. It's about the person that...
Yeah, so, like, one of the things that we talk about, and one of the things that I've talked about in Rainbow Assured when I've talked to my wife about things, is when she said, oh, there seems to be so many terms, and they're all the same as each other, and why are there so many different flags, and all these things are the same. And I said, look, the thing you've got to get your head around is it's not about you. It's not about you and thinking you saying, oh, well, bisexuals are the same as pansexuals and who are the same as this other one and this other one. It's not about you. If somebody finds that they have a label or a box or a flag that they can identify with that makes them go, oh, yeah, this feels like me, that's the only person it's about. And it's about making that person feel like they have someone to talk to and a community to belong to. It's really not about anybody else.
No, everyone thinks they're the main character.
Yeah.
I mean, I do. I think I am, actually.
You are of your story, and we all are of our own
That's
stories.
What I mean. Everyone has their own story. Everyone's the main character. Everyone has their own movie, their sequel, their prequel, their spin-off show.
Oh, I love
and their
that.
not so successful prime TV show. So...
Oh, I love that. I wonder what we should call yours. Blueberry.
Blueberry. The tail of the blue.
Hang on a minute. I think I'm the tail of the blue.
Oh, yeah.
The blue.
Sorry. Do you know what? I tend not to look at people's hair because it makes you jealous. That's why I wear a hat.
I was going to say, you do appear to be not wearing hair today.
Well, I've actually got a massive afro under here.
Oh, okay.
So I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm going to hide that under your bushel, okay? And moving on. So one of the things we were talking about is apparently on my phone. Don't do that to me. You're going to have to cut this bit out now. I'm just going to... Okay, we'll pause that bit.
I'll do better
He's gonna...
at timing my messages.
Yes, thank you. Normally I can work it into a conversation. I couldn't manage it that time. But I'm glad you said that because I had actually reached a point in my head. My head was going, where are we going next? Shit. Okay.
While we're in this state of...
Flux.
Love flux. Flux is such a fun word.
Flux is a good word.
Do you want me to put my phone on silent? Because I did hear it. It's jacket. I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's what it was.
I was like, shit.
I heard a noise. I didn't know what it was.
I'm just so popular.
It's just fans, many fans.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to kick you in the...
Oh, yes, good thinking, Batman. Very good. Right, I want to phrase this slightly differently.
Yeah, I realise that's very...
Yes, okay, yeah. So, another question, and kind of not from you as a worker's perspective, but you as a buyer. If you were, as you are, a member of the LGBTQ community and you're using your hard-earned money to pay for goods and services, how impacted are you on that company's decision to support Pride cause? So if you knew that if you were spending your money with someone who was very Pride friendly and actively, like, would you be more likely to spend your money with them as opposed to someone who you thought was not so Pride friendly or was rainbow washing for June and then ignored the community for the rest of the year? Would that impact your buying decisions?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does now.
Yeah.
Like I said before this, I was like, I'm going to do a bit of shopping. But I always like to know what I'm buying. And don't get me wrong, I'm like, I chuck my money away like no one's business. But before I do that, I do like to kind of know who I'm supporting when I'm buying stuff.
Yeah.
Like it's like I look for like little things, especially when it comes to like little shops.
Yeah.
Like I'd be more inclined to go into a shop if it had like the rainbow flag or, you know, something that was
A rainbow assured logo.
yeah, something like that. Then I'd be more inclined to walk in than a shop that didn't have that.
Yeah.
Because being part of the community, I would kill myself just to bring that and to support. You know what? I'm gonna do it till I'm 6 feet under.
I mean, we went on a honeymoon to Egypt, and I didn't realise at the time when we booked it that actually Egypt's views towards the LGBTQ community are not ever so amazing.
No.
And it's the majority, from what I understand now, is the Muslim population of Egypt are not friendly towards the LGBTQ, but the Christian population are more so. And it's just a cultural difference. Chip and I were very respectful. We didn't kiss in public over there. We didn't hold hands. We asked advice as what we were supposed to do, and we took their advice, and we made sure that we were very respectful of their customs and cultures while we were over there. Now, I actually got into a conversation with someone who realised that we were a couple, because the photographer on this boat trip was really pro gay people, and was like, "Oh, I want to get some more like pictures for my portfolio. I want to show some more gay couples. Can you come and take some pictures?" And he had us like with the life ring, doing a kind of Titanic, "I'll catch you," type pose. But subsequently, the guy who was kind of leading the tour on the boat realised that we were then gay, and came up and told us several times that we were wrong, and that we were. We shouldn't be like that, and we had to say to them, look, we understand that it's taboo in your country, it's not accepted, but in our country it's fine, and we're trying to make sure that we respect your customs. But he kept coming back and saying, "Ugh,
So
it's wrong,
horrible.
it's wrong." But then he told us that he had a guy who goes to his gym is a trans guy. And he said it was wonderful. And I was like, well, this is brilliant. I'm really chuffed that your attitude towards the trans community is so positive, because often that's where it goes wrong. But clearly your views towards the gay community are less than favourable. And I understand that that's how you've grown up. And we just tried to kind of keep away from him for the rest of the boat trip, because he kept coming over and really reinforcing that we were wrong. And we sort of showed him our wedding rings and said, we are married, and it's okay for us. And one of the things I'm really hoping that Rainbow Shore can do as we grow and get bigger, we can go to other countries and make sure, obviously, that we are teaching the appropriate laws for that country. But I'm hoping have a positive impact on the governments in those countries. The more we can do, and the wider we can kind of spread the word about the fact that we're not doing anything that's I get for different religions it's not okay, and I totally respect that. But at the same time, as a person who's part of the LGBTQ community, I don't feel that there's anything unnatural about it.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
Love is love.
And I'm so sorry that happened to you, because that shouldn't do.
Oh,
but
right.
This is why companies like yours is so crucial, especially now, us being in 2025 and the world being so unsure and everything is changing so quickly and so, I was about to say fastly, but that's the same as quickly.
Rapidly.
And it's such a good time for a company like yours, and I hope loads and loads of others follow, because this is what we need.
Yes, yeah. One of the things that we talk about a lot is the changing of language, and how English has been such an evolving language for centuries, and you can't just stay stuck in the past. At some point, you have to go, okay, I'm going to change, and I'm going to change the way I talk. And I want to be part of the change, as opposed to just stay. I guess it's looking at things as a way to say, if this was your brother or your sister or your child that was being treated a certain way, would you want them to be treated better? And for that reason, wouldn't you want to treat someone else's child or someone else's brother better? Are there any other members of your family or kind of, do you have a lot of close friendship groups within the Pride community?
Just like one friendship group. I don't know why. Back in high school, I had so many. I think it's because I've grown up.
You're still a baby.
I kind of like to keep a close knit of friends now. Because I haven't had many good experiences, not because of who I am, just because of people clash, rumours room, lies lie,
Haters gonna hate.
haters hate, So I now I like to keep a close knit, but my two friends, they're called Jake and Josh. Like the show Drake and Josh, but instead of Drake, it's Jake.
Brown.
And they're my family.
Do you think, in as far as are Jake and Josh part of the community?
Yeah.
They are, right. Do you? So I mean, obviously you're going to know them fairly well and how they live their lives. Do you think, as an employee going into a new job, you and they would look at employers in a similar vein to if they were queer friendly, you would be much more likely to work for them? Do you think that they would?
I never really thought of it like that. I kind of, and this is how my mind works. I go into a job or a career thinking that they're gonna already be, because that's how it should work.
Okay.
But let's say you were like, you've got two options. This career not very friendly.
Mm-hmm.
This one very. I would probably go for the one that is.
Yeah.
Because I've spent 13 years hiding who I was. I'm not going to do any more. Why should I?
Yeah.
I like who I am.
Yes.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Period.
Boomp. La, 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 la.
That's going to be a TikTok.
So we've had a conversation off air about the younger generation and their attitude towards mental health in the workplace, and the kind of assumption that when you go into a career and a job that it's already kind of going to be taken care of, and that the attitude is already one of acceptance and tolerance and understanding, because that's, I guess, what they're expecting. Mm-hmm. Whereas somebody of, I just feel funny saying my age group because I'm the next one up. Maybe the next one up after that. I'm not sure. I don't know how the X and Y and Z and
sensible 25-year-old.
I was born in 81, so before any of you lot. So for my generation, at least, I would go into a job hoping there would be acceptable practices. I would go in hoping and wanting there to be good practices and tolerance and non-acceptance of discriminatory language and things like that. But I also would be very aware that probably I was just going to have to kind of get on with it. And that if there was a problem, I would have to weigh up whether or not it was a big enough problem to actually complain about it, or if I thought I was going to be making more problems for myself by complaining about it. And if I just needed to kind of sweep it under the rug and get on with it.
That's so kind of crazy to me because, like I said, me and my generation, I walk into a job expecting that as a standard. And if that wasn't a standard, I would kick off. And I'm able to say the rest of my generation would kick off as well. Because, us being the kind of newbies of the world.
The next one's in, yeah.
That's what we expect, this is what we've grown up. We've grown up with being learned to be who we are. We're being taught to express ourselves. Mm-hmm. So us going into a job that is like, no, you can't be like that here. Like, no, as long as it's like professional,
of
like,
course,
do you know what I mean? But like, I walk into a job expecting that, me being gay, me being camp, if I wanted to wear eyeliner one day, like, that should be respected as a boundary. And if it's not, I think, especially for me, and again, safe to say for the rest of my generation, would kick off.
It's really an interesting prospect. Although, I joke that you guys are babies and that I feel like I'm a different generation, but ultimately I don't actually feel very different to you guys. And when I talk about us in work, I generally am talking about us as a collective. But our attitudes, I guess, and what we've grown up with are so different. And that's only, so you're 23 and I'm 43. It's literally a process of 20 years. And the difference of me going into a workplace and kind of hoping for the best, but expecting not. And you guys going in going, oh, fucking hell, if it ain't good.
Yeah, I'm out.
Here we go. Yeah, it's really, that's a massive shift.
Yeah.
And
you know, like businesses, companies, they need to learn that they have to now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, the older generation, as they getting older, sorry, you know, they're going to be looking to the fresh blood to help their company grow. And if they're
Keep calling
not,
me older and you'll be fresh meat to a wolf.
but like, if they don't respect us, and they're going to have no one to grow their company.
Yeah, ultimately.
It's all good being a businessman in a nice expensive suit, but it's the workers, it's the employees that build it from the ground up as well.
They're doing the work.
Yeah.
And without the workers, the job doesn't get done.
Exactly.
And if you don't have happy workers, you don't have workers.
You need worker bees to build a hive or get honey or whatever they do. You can't just be a queen bee, can you?
No. But I sort of suspect that if there was going to be a queen bee, it might be you.
Oh, yeah. I like to think I'm the queen bee.
So can you tell us how we can access your music?
Yeah, so I'm on Spotify, Amazon, Apple, Pandora, Deezer, all of the things.
You've sort of gone into words at the end that I didn't understand. So
I'm on all streaming platforms. I'm on YouTube. I stream on Twitch sometimes. It's Billsbury Games.
So Billsbury, just spell that out for us so we know what we're going.
So it's BILL $BREY.
Yeah, Billsbury. Yep.
And then Twitch is a bit different because I got locked out my other account, so I couldn't have Billsbury. It's Billsbury, but instead of an S, it's a Z, because I'm cool.
Because you're so cool.
I'm just so cool.
Super cool. Well, thank you so much for coming in to join us.
Thank you so much for having me. It's been such an honour.
I said right from the very start, you were like the first person I was like, I must get Belly on, because you're just super cool
It's been
and
so
super
fun.
lovely. You are also, I think, our youngest. I was going to say contestant, but you don't win anything. Sorry. You win the...
Do I not?
No.
What?
I know, right?
Sorry,
you've won
I'm not
the opportunity
winning anything?
to
Cut the camera.
listen to...
No, I'm done.
You've won the opportunity to listen to yourself through headphones, which is an unusual experience.
Never experienced that before.
No, but it's kind of cool, isn't it? We like
really
it.
Cool.
We like it. We'll do more in the future. We'll get you back on again sometime.
Please do.
Awesome. So this is Kerry King for Queerly Biz for Rainbow Assured, and we will see you next time.
Bye.